Hello Wargamers, I'm Invasive Ramnus, and today I just want to do a quick video showing you my new display board for my Tau Empire army. So it's pretty straightforward, not a lot to say other than ta-da. Basically it's just a old cork board that I got from Goodwill for like $2, and then pink extruded polystyrene, I think, the pink insulation. And that makes up these two layers, covered in, ballast sand, yeah. Then I used the green GW flocking here and some fake moss, lichen-y type stuff for these shrubs. So the idea here is, since my army has, Tau, Kroot, and some allies, is that the Tau go up here, of course by the Tau symbol, and they're based to have like a very sandy base, whereas my Kroot actually have a green foresty base, and so I figured in order to tie those two together in the board, I would have kind of a more vegetated side of the board, which would be up here, and a more deserty type up there. So I'm envisioning this being almost like a chaparral or a shrubland type place like you might see in the western United States. So that's the idea here. Kroot down in front, Tau in back, and then maybe that my allies coming in on the side or in the back or something like that. But yeah, like I said, it's corkboard and pink insulation. A few things on how I created it. First, I cut out all my shapes and everything using just a baton stylus foam cutter. Now these aren't made to be used with pink insulation. They're meant to be used with like just white foam for like crafts and stuff that you can get at a local craft store. I got this one for like $15, I think, because I didn't want to spend, the $35, $50 that I'd have to spend on a nice kind of bowed wire cutter, hot foam wire cutter online or anything like that. So that's what I ended up using. It works out okay because it allows me to cut out the shapes and also put in these details here. So I was struggling with how to make, like, architecture look Tau-like instead of imperial, and so what I did was just these, odd angled, lines and everything, and that seemed to work out okay. I think it turned out all right. And then after getting everything cut out and all my lines in the foam here, I went and made like a 50-50 mixture of white Elmer's glue and water. Put that down and then put the ballast on top, the sand on top, and sealed it all using this Loctite spray adhesive. It's just light stuff. Now you want to make sure though, if you do use this, that you wait for the Elmer's glue to fully dry. Otherwise, if you touch it, the Loctite adhesive will be dried before the Elmer's glue, and basically you'll end up with like a carpet of sand that will just pull up off of the foam if you don't let that glue dry first. So that's important to make sure everything's dry before you proceed to the next step or touch it or anything like that. So that's important. Then I went and painted the sand again to give it a nice seal on top, and I did that using just like these cheap throwaway wall paint like that you get for the inside of your house. If you go to like Menards or anything, Home Depot, they'll have these paints that they have made up for people that they didn't want or whatever, so they put them on sale for $2 for this nice thing of paint, and that can go a long way when making terrain or display boards or anything like that. So I used that on the foam and on the sand. You want to make sure you don't use just normal spray paint on your foam. It's going to eat away at it. You can either use, like I said, the the wall paint on the foam, it is going to soak up a bunch of it, but you can use it. Or other types of acrylic paint or specialty foam spray paint. So like the Army Painter primers will work. Otherwise, your craft store will have specialty foam approved spray paints that are considerably more expensive than normal spray paint. So, you know, whatever you want to do as far as that works out just fine. But yeah, and then that was about it. So, you know, this gray is that wall paint I just showed you, and then this red is a combination of the Army Painter Red Dragon primer and just some red acrylic paint I got for like 50 cents at Hobby Lobby. Yeah, so that's about it. Hopefully, you know, you guys like it. Gives you some inspiration if needed, but I don't know. It definitely is not the most sophisticated display board I've ever seen, but I think it works out okay. You know, there's a certain beauty and simplicity. So there's that. Yeah, I'll be taking this to the Tippcon tournament in a couple weeks here, where I'll be fielding an 1850 list, and I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on how I did at that tournament afterwards. So thanks for watching, and happy wargaming.